Fluffy's throne. The sofa wars begin. They thought they could outsmart me. Ha! As if. It started innocently enough, or so they thought. The humans came home lugging a box the size of my litter tray times 20. My whiskers twitched as I watched them wrestle with it, grunting and sweating. Eventually, they revealed their heinous crime. My sofa, my glorious, scratched-to-perfection throne, had been replaced. What stood in its place was an insult, a shiny, fur-resistant monstrosity. No scratches, no scent, no history. It gleamed under the living room light, mocking me. Tim, my dim-witted human, sat on it like a king addressing his kingdom. "See, Fluffy? Isn't it great? No more fur everywhere." I stared at him, tail flicking in disdain. "Oh, it's on, Tim. You've just declared war." Day 1. Baptism of the Abomination. That night, while the humans slept, I executed my first act of rebellion. Silent as a shadow, I crept onto the couch. Its sterile smell burned my nose. This thing needed a proper christening. With precision and defiance, I raised my tail and let loose. The sound of liquid justice hitting faux leather was music to my ears. I hopped off and strutted away, tail high, like the victorious warrior I was. Morning brought the desired chaos. "Fluffy!" Tim's shriek echoed through the house. I lounged on my windowsill, licking my paw. "What? You wanted less fur. I gave you something better." Tim pointed at the yellowed spot in horror. "You peed on the new sofa. What's wrong with you?" I tilted my head and blinked. "Oh, Tim, you sweet summer child. What's wrong with you thinking this sofa would last a week in my kingdom?" Day 3. Operation Shed and Spread. After they scrubbed the sofa to a shine, I escalated my tactics. Every time they left the room, I rubbed myself against it, shedding fur like I was auditioning for a lint roller commercial. By the afternoon, the once pristine cushions were blanketed in my glorious fluff. Tim sat down with a loud sigh. A second later, he pulled a strand of fur from his mouth and groaned, "Really, Fluffy?" I yawned. "You're welcome, Tim. I'm decorating." At dinner, another strand of fur floated into his soup. He glared at me. "Do you even care?" he muttered. "Care? I'm thriving, darling." Day 5. Tripwire maneuver. It was time for something more direct. As Tim climbed the stairs, juggling laundry, I darted between his legs. "Whoa!" he flailed, nearly dropping everything. "Are you trying to kill me, you furry menace?" he snapped. I perched at the top of the stairs, casually licking my paw. "Kill you? No, Tim. This is foreplay." Later, as Tim struggled with the so-called cat-proof sofa cover, I watched, tail flicking. If I could speak, I'd have purred, "Oh, love, you're fighting harder than a drunk man on karaoke night. It's tragic, really." Day 7. Litter box blitzkrieg. For my pièce de résistance, I dragged my litter box onto the sofa while the humans were out. It took effort, sure, but I'm nothing if not determined. With one satisfying shove, the box tipped over, scattering litter, and its delightful contents, across the cushions. When Tim came home, he froze. His keys hit the floor. "You've got to be kidding me." I lounged nearby, grooming myself. "Am I, Tim? Or is this just what happens when you try to dethrone me?" The human surrender. By the end of the week, my humans brought back my old sofa. Sure, it was scratched, sagging, and stained, but it was mine. The new abomination was banished to the garage, a fitting end for such a foolish idea. Tim slumped into a chair, defeated. "You win, Fluffy. Happy now?" I leapt onto my reclaimed throne, stretching luxuriously. "I've never been happier, Tim. But remember, this isn't just my sofa. It's a symbol. You may own the house, but I rule the home." Fluffy's reflection. As I curled up on my throne that night, I felt a swell of pride. Humans never learn. They thought they could outsmart me, but they don't realize when you mess with the Tabby, you get the claws.